What's up, Mellow Goblins? Welcome back to my channel. It's Remy, and I know it's been a while since you've seen my face, but I'm coming back at you with some fall recs. And I know it's like a month before fall officially starts, but it's August and school is starting back if you're in college or if you're in high school. And everyone kind of treats August as the transition into fall. Spooky season is starting at the end of August. Spirit Halloween opens. So let's get into some fall recs if you're feeling the fall vibes already and you're wanting some fall books. I have for you about 13 books. The first couple, it's not very many that are going to be like obviously fall recs, and then the rest are going to be like personally what I think is really good for fall, what I personally love to read in the fall, and maybe it's something you would like as well. So I'm going to start with the first one, and this is going to be Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. I always butcher his name, I feel like. Anyway, this is a classic, technically. It is it's the story that inspired Dracula. So it's about Carmilla. She is this vampire, and she kind of goes into these people's homes and kind of puts herself as this helpless young woman and ends up feeding on people's children, basically. But there is this kind of like relationship with Carmilla and the main character that is seen as almost romantic, but it is with another woman, and it kind of, the ending kind of leaves you wondering. And I love this book. If you have seen anything about this book, this is considered like a sapphic vampire book. I gave this book, I want to say, I think I gave it a 4.5 stars. I cannot remember, or maybe a 5. I don't remember. My official rating, my actual rating will be up here, but I do not remember exactly what I rated this book. The next book, obviously, is The Night Circus, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So for me, it definitely gave fall ambiance, but it was not giving the fantasy that I was hoping for. I guess I interpreted this book a little differently when people were recommending it. It's not a fast-paced book. It's not a fast-paced book by any means, but it has really great fall ambiance. I really do like the storyline and the characters. It just, at the time, was not something that I was expecting. Like, it was not what I expected, so I think that kind of dampened my rating a little bit. I believe I gave it a 4 stars or maybe a 3. Again, my official rating will be on the screen. But I do think this is a really good book for fall. It definitely kind of transports you. Transport? Am I saying that right? English is hard. Transport? You feel like you're in the story. You feel like you're there with them. And Erin Morgenstern does a really good with like descriptive words and kind of make you feel like you're in the atmosphere. And yeah, I think it is really interesting. I honestly don't even know how to explain this book, I'm going to be so honest with you. So I really think you should go in blind, because that's what I did. But just know that it is a slow-paced read. Do not let that discourage you, though, because it is a really good story. So the next book I don't have physically, but this is also another obvious fall rec, which would be Coraline by Neil Gaiman. If you've ever read the book or the movie, if you've ever seen the movie, yes, Pistol, I know. How like they've obviously have to see Coraline, right? Because it's the classic. Anyway, if you've ever watched the movie Coraline, this is the book that it's based off of. So this book is literally like reading the movie's deleted scenes, basically. Because the movie goes almost exactly like the book, but there's just a couple scenes that are like deleted from the movie that are in the book, and I think kind of add more to the story. I want to reread it this year, but it is one of my favorite books. I think Neil Gaiman is so good at what he does, and the illustrations, if you get the illustrated version, they are so creepy in such a good way. I love the illustrations. Also, if you get the illustrated version of Carmilla, I think the illustrations in this book are literally amazing. So I definitely recommend the illustrated version of both of those books. Coraline, I give it 5 stars. Always will give it 5 stars. Love that book. The next book is Love in the Time of Serial Killers. The only reason I consider this an obvious kind of fall rec is because it's about serial killers, and she is holding up a book that says Monster Next Door, and she's also a true crime person, and that all gives fall vibes to me. I do not remember if the actual season this book is in fall. I don't remember the author really describing the season that much, but this is by Alicia Thompson. I love Alicia Thompson. I gave this book 4.5 stars. Basically, the main character, Phoebe, she has to go back to her family home or her father's home to kind of go through his things because her father just passed away, and she's convinced that his neighbor is a serial killer. And I'm going to leave it at that. It's a rom-com, so I definitely highly recommend. It's cute. It's very cute. I gave it a 4.5. So now the next books are going to be like my personal kind of what I personally think is good for fall. So I really like psychological literary fiction. So like character-driven stories that are about people's mental health or them going through a hard time. So one of my books I highly recommend is Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It is a very underrated Taylor Jenkins Reid book. It is about this woman named Elsie Porter. She falls for this man really fast. They elope within 3 months of meeting each other, and they move in with each other, and suddenly her new husband gets hit by a car and passes away. Because their relationship moved so quickly, his mother knew nothing about her, didn't even know he was married, and did not believe her at first, and would not let her handle the funeral at all. And this woman was not only grieving, her husband, but she's grieving this future she saw with him. Even though it was a very fast-paced relationship, this book kind of goes through and encounters grief in such a beautiful way, and I love books that do that. So I highly recommend. I gave this book a 4.5. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 4.5. This is a very underrated book. If not a 4.5, I gave it a 4. And nothing below a 4 because this was really good. Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing is always really good, and honestly, it's the only one of hers that I've fully finished, and it is one of my favorites, but it's the only one I fully finished, so I can't really say that. It's really good. So on the train of deeply emotional, we're gonna go and I'm gonna talk about some more psychological literary fiction books that are on the heavier side, and I think you should look at trigger warnings. I'm not really going to talk about the description of them or the characters very much because of the trigger warning. So I recommend Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. The book is actually set in the summer, and I think she goes through multiple seasons in the book, but again, I think psychological literary fiction is really good to read in the fall. I don't know why. It just gives fall vibes to me. I loved this story. It was a hard read. It took me a little bit to read it, but it is very good. And look at the trigger warnings before reading this and making sure that you're okay to read this story, but it is very good. The next book is called Paperweight by Meg Haston. I also do not have these books physically because I let my friend borrow them to read them, but Paperweight, also look at the trigger warnings. This book is also really good. I gave both of these books 5 stars, by the way. I love Paperweight. It is short. It's a quick read, but it is impactful. I love this story so much, and I think more people should read it. It's a one-sided romance is what the next one is. And my friend is also borrowing this one. It's called Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland. She's either borrowing it or I lost it. I don't remember. Our Chemical Hearts is about our main character. I don't remember his name, but it is a male POV. And he falls in love with this girl. And the girl is grieving her late boyfriend. Her boyfriend passed away. I do not remember how he passed away, but she's grieving him and trying to move on, and she ends up tangling up her feelings with our main character, and she cannot really get past her loss. and is kind of dragging down and dragging along our main character. I think there's some really good quotes in this book. I read this book in high school. I think I gave this book I think when I looked at my Fable, it said 3 stars. I'll have to reread it, but it is a very good read to me. I really can't believe I gave it a 3 stars because looking back on it, I do really like the story and like the concept of this one-sided relationship and how to navigate one-sided feelings, basically. I do have another one that I don't have physically, and it's called House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland as well. It's the same author who does Our Chemical Hearts. This book is completely different. This is also, I feel like, an obvious fall read, but it's a mystery, and it's kind of mixed with paranormal. It is super freaking cool. I love this story so much. I think it's my favorite ones of hers that I've read, and I've only read the 2 so far. But basically, it's about these 3 girls. When they were younger, they went missing for a month, and they came back. They don't remember anything, right? But their father is convinced that there's something wrong with him to the point where it drives him crazy, right? Now they're older, right? Their father isn't around, and their older sister, I think her name is Willow. I don't remember exactly her name, but their older sister is a model and like a fashion person. And she has gone missing. And so you're in the point of view of the youngest sibling, the youngest sister. So the youngest sister and the middle sister are trying to find her because they think it has something to do with what happened to them when they were younger. And I'm not telling you anything else because this twist at the end got me. Oh my God, the plot twist got me so good. This plot twist is so unique to anything I've ever read. Do not expect a plot twist on top of a plot twist because that's not going to happen with this book. This is a classic one plot twist novel, which I love personally. And I was blown away. I don't remember the rating I gave this. I want to say I gave it a 4.5. I might have gave it a 5, but this book is really good. There's a lot of good quotes about sisterhood and being protective of your siblings, and I quote, like, I literally underlined all of them. My friend is also, my other friend, a different friend, is borrowing this book. So, yeah, I don't have that one physically. But that book, if you did not read anything else, read that book. It is short, it is a quick read, and it is really good. Now, back to the physical books I have. We have The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. This is another one that's around the literary fiction realm, but it's more about family relationships and mending ties with estranged family members. This is specifically about Calla Fletcher and her strained relationship with her father. Her father and her mother split up when she was a child, and they used to live in Alaska, and then her mother moved her out to Toronto, Canada. And she has not seen her father in years. She hasn't seen her father since she was 2. She hasn't spoken to him since she was 12. And she gets some news and decides to go back and try and mend their relationship. There is a subplot of romance. This is considered a romance genre book, but personally, the way that it's written, I feel like it is a literary fiction with a subplot of romance, mainly because I feel like the focus is her trying to mend this relationship with her estranged father, and the Jonah, the guy that is her love interest, has this kind of familial ties, not like literal, but like as in like he looks up to her dad in a familial way, and so he's also kind of protective of him about her coming back and trying to do. So they kind of hate each other in the beginning, which I love. I love that. This is also a series. I personally like the way that this book ended and did not feel like continuing. I normally don't do that, but I felt like this book ended really well, and I didn't see how the other ones would go, and I just didn't really want to read them. So, yeah, I have some quotes in here that I have underlined, and I really like this book. I gave this book a 5 stars, and I was obsessed when I read this. What better season to read historical fiction than fall? Tell me what better season there is. because I guess it depends on the book. Because I have a couple of historical fiction that probably be better in winter, but this one right here, this one had me crying. Oh my god. This book is so good. It is beautifully written. The audiobook, the audiobook is amazing. I gave this book a 5 stars. This is a story of 2 separate couples. Their stories are interwoven. They're love stories between these 2 couples, and they are told in the God's point of view. This is going through the timeline of World War I and World War II, and it is in Britain and Belgium, I believe. Oh no, one of the characters is Belgian, but the actual setting is in Britain and France. So it's about Hazel, James, Audrey, and Colette. And Hazel and James are British. Audrey is an African-American soldier sent to Britain to, assist in the war. And he meets Colette, who is the Belgian orphan that is friends with Hazel. And that's all I want to say. Like, their friendships with each other, the way that their stories are interwoven are beautiful. Also, the kind of background story that's going on with the gods and the reason why they're telling this story. This book is just genius. The way that it's written is genius. I love this book. I want to reread it so bad, but she's a little thick. And I got other books I gotta get soon, unfortunately. But I think I'll reread it soon. So now the last couple I have are series. So this series I discovered last fall, this trilogy, and I got it on camera. Dude, this is literally, I have me falling in love with this author and this series, trilogy, whatever, on camera. And it's in my last fall reading vlog from last year. Guys. And I'm still obsessed, okay? And that is The Assistant to the Villain trilogy. The 3rd book just came out this month, and I bought it immediately. And these books are so good. Again, they're not technically set in any specific season, but they are very much a cozy fantasy, and they are so good. They're so good. It is literally all of my favorite genres put together, and I feel like every time I talk about this series, I say this, but it is literally a cozy fantasy, a rom-com, and it is like, it's a little bit of a slow burn. It's also and like a fairy tale-esque. I'm sorry, I love this series so much. Like, when I die, bury these with me, please. Because oh my goodness. I gave these 2 both 5 stars. I'm so excited and sad. It's bittersweet to read the last one, but this trilogy has my heart. It really does. This is about our main character, Evie Sage. She is trying to take care of her sickly father and her younger sister. Her mother ran off when she was young and after her older brother passed away. So she is the sole provider for her family. She is desperately trying to find a job, but she cannot find one. So she ends up walking into the woods defeated for the day. Mind you, these woods people do not walk into because there's the villain lives out there. The villain's somewhere out there. He's gonna get ya. He's gonna kill ya. So she ends up running into the villain, thinking she's gonna die. He is trying to keep her from getting killed by the kingdom's guards. He's like, they're not gonna care that you're a civilian. They're gonna think you're with me, and they're gonna kill you. So he tries to get her away, and they start running. And she talks about how she needs a job, and he offers her a job. And that's how she becomes the assistant to the villain. This is also, the first book is on Kindle Unlimited. And that's all I can tell you. You gotta read the first book to get into the second book, The Apprentice to the Villain. This book is so God. Like, the second book is always my favorite in any series, and this book is so freaking good, okay? I love this trilogy so much, and I am so excited for the third one. So excited. So, that is me done raving about Assistant to the Villain trilogy by Hannah Maher. I don't know how to say her name, but Hannah Nicole Maher. Anyway, okay, so the last trilogy that I'm going to be talking about is the Serpent and Dove trilogy. So the first book is Serpent and Dove, and then we have Blood and Honey and God and Monsters. This is like a, I don't want to say, it's kind of a high stakes fantasy. I mean, kind of, it is. It is pretty much a high stakes fantasy. It does give kind of cozy vibes, but that's just with certain aspects of it. The first book is definitely more cozy. The second book gets more emotional and like nitty gritty, and the third book is just something else. So the second book is also my favorite and the one that broke my heart, so please be aware. I'm going to talk about the first book, obviously. I think what I did, I gave 5 stars, and then the last book a 4.5, or a 4-star, because it just didn't, I don't know, I guess I just didn't like it as much. I don't even really remember it. Maybe that's also why I gave it a 4. Anyway, the Serpent and Dove trilogy. This is following our main character, Louise LeBlanc, and Reed Diggory. Louise LeBlanc is a witch by birth, and she's the daughter of basically the head of the witch coven, right? Reed Diggory is a chasseur. He is a witch hunter, and he works for the church in their town. This is set in France. And basically, some things happen, and they end up in a marriage of convenience, okay? And this sparks our witch and witch hunter love story. I love this book. I love this book. And I like this one. I think that this trilogy is really good. I also think the reason why I rated this one lower is because I waited longer to read this one, because the second one broke my heart. So don't do that, and it probably won't. The third one probably will be just as good. I actually am starting to remember some of the last one, and I think there was just a lot going on in the last one, but this trilogy is awesome. It's awesome. So that is it. That wraps up my fall recs for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I've been gone for a while, but I hope this video kind of made up for it a little bit. Like, comment, and subscribe, all those YouTube things you know how to do, and I will see you next time. Bye!